At number 10, Eric has Josh Freeman and Vincent Jackson. That's a hell of a number 10 right there. I like that. At my number 10, man. I don't know which way I want to go. I actually didn't even give rankings. I just listed them, and I'm like, I really don't even know which way I want to go. All right, you know what? For number 10, I'm going to go with Stafford and Calvin. We'll go with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, and I would love to put them higher. Look, you know what? Based on what I've seen this year, why not? They still haven't connected for a touchdown all year this year. No touchdowns between the two of them.
No, one.
No. Calvin caught that one touchdown from Stephen Hill.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Why not? Well, good. I'm going to go off the wall with this one. I'll have some fun with you. I'll go based on exactly what I've seen this year.
Give me your number 9 then. I'm interested in your number 9. If that's your number 10.
I'll go with what I've
I didn't know Jerry Rice and Joe Montana were coming back for this list.
Yeah, we were doing all time. Number 9, I'll go with Romo and Dez. Yeah,
that's sad.
I'm going off the wall on this one.
I didn't even have them on my list.
And
I mean, the closest I had was an honorable mention for Romo and Austin. But
I feel like this year they're trying to make it such a point.
Yeah, but Dez Bryant's 2 best career games as a Cowboy were not this past week, but the 2 previous weeks to that, and he's only cracked 100 yards 1 time. Surprising that you went that way. My number 9, Andy Dalton and A.J. Green.
There you go.
2 second-year guys who just seem to light it up week after week.
I like that. That's not a bad little combo. I actually am going to put them higher in mine. So when we get to them, we'll get to them. Like I said, you know what? I'm thinking based off of what I've watched this year. So,
from what you've watched this year, regardless, if you just were starting a team right now, are you going to take Stafford and Megatron, or are you going to take Dalton and Green?
If I was starting a team right now?
If you're starting a team, not fantasy team, but if you're starting an NFL team, and you had the choice to pick a wide receiver combo, who are you? Because that's the way I looked at this list. When I look at this list, I'm taking Stafford and Megatron over Dalton and Green.
I could go either way and be more than happy, but obviously that's sort of the point of saying the best wide receiver quarterback duos. It's not like we're just picking Joe Schmo and his brother. You know, I know what you're trying to say, but like I said, I just wrote down a bunch of names. I didn't even really put a number to them because I feel like you could take any of them and be happy with what you got. And I really felt that I'd get a little more, have a minute to look into it, but we got excited about Gangman Style, and I didn't really have a chance to sit here and make my decisions.
I didn't get excited about Gangman Style. You got excited, and apparently people in the chat got excited.
Of course they did. The thought of seeing me and you do Gangman Style is a very exciting thought. So at number 8, I'm going to go with Vic and Deshaun Jackson. Yeah, why not? Number 8, we'll go Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson.
I got Brady and Welker.
There you go. See, I got Brady, but I didn't go with Welker. I went with based off of this year. Like
you can't say. Let me just add. You didn't say the Gronk, did you?
Yeah.
It's a QB wide receiver combo list.
The guy's like a wide receiver. All right, fine.
Well, but that's outside of the parameters of a wide receiver. He doesn't play wide. He might catch a lot of balls.
He lines up like a wide receiver sometimes. He's not always with his hand in the ground.
He is in what position does Gronkowski play?
Tight end.
Okay. Would you like to switch that to Welker now?
Fine. I really put Brady / anyone. I didn't even really write that.
See, I did that for honorable mention with Arizona and Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, it's just not fair.
And the Arizona quarterback and Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, it's not fair that he doesn't have a good quarterback.
Number 7, Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson.
They didn't even make mine. Andre Johnson to me has just been too inconsistent over the past 2-3 years. Didn't even make mine. Like Matt Schaub, but for my number 7, I'm going to go with Drew Brees and Marcus Colston. I think that's a combination that if you actually go back, I know it sounds like almost a little off to some people. If you actually go back over the last 2-3 years, it's been one of the most potent quarterback-wide receiver combos in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
It really has. And I'd like to go higher, but Marcus Colston just doesn't scare me the same way as some of the other wide receivers that we're going to name, that we have named and are going to name on this list. That's the only reason why I wouldn't put them higher. But it's one of the best combinations in the NFL.
See, number 6, I have Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson. This year and even last year, they've connected on a lot. And Jennings has been hurt and not playing as well. I got to go with Rodgers and Nelson.
See, I like that. I actually have them on my list, but I have Cutler and Marshall at 6. I mean, the sad thing is with what they've done all year, not even including what they used to do together in Denver. My thing is just this. I know Marshall had a good game yesterday, but Cutler's a roller coaster ride of a quarterback to me. Even if he's a roller coaster, Marshall is going to be that one guy that's the constant. Yeah, he is extremely consistent, and he's just a freak of nature. As long as he keeps his head on straight off the field, Brandon Marshall is going to go down as one of the best wide receivers, at least of this generation. No question about it. So, but I got Cutler and Marshall at 6.
I got Breeze and Colston at 5 myself. I know we've already touched on that. They're great. One of the best wide receiver combos in the league. I love Colston's size, and even though Breeze spreads the ball over, he still finds a way to get Colston involved in pretty much every single game. I like Breeze and Colston at 5.
Nothing wrong with that. That's for damn sure. At 5, I got Brady Welker. Too consistent. They've been doing it too long, and I feel like they're just a ridiculous combination. So at 5, I got Brady Welker.
Who you got at 4?
At 4, I went Rodgers and Nelson. So I'm only a little off of where you put Rodgers and Nelson, but
I went Matty Ice and Roddy White.
You went number 4 with them?
Matty Ice, Roddy White.
This is one of the first time.
They've built quite a rapport.
And they've been doing it for a while. That's for damn sure. So what are we, number 3 now already?
Yeah, number 3.
Wow. Number 3 is where I put Dalton and A.J. Green. The two of them have just amazed me. Every week it seems Green's got a touchdown. Every week Dalton seems to find them. Every week the two of them, since they came in the league last year, has consistently just... And the worst part about it is, if you're a defense, you game plan to stop that. You do. They roll coverage to A.J. Green because there's no other threat on the opposite side, and yet every single week they manage to find each other for, 6, 7 catches, a touchdown, 80 yards, 100 yards, some type of performance that has an impact on the outcome of the game. It's unbelievable to me. And I feel like that longevity with the two of them, if Cincinnati's smart, they're keeping the two of them together as long as possible. Yeah.
And number 3, I got Cutler and Marshall, and it's just because they have such a great rapport with each other. They've been together in Denver, now they're back together with the Bears, and really they've Cutler hasn't looked great at times this year, but Marshall's really looked great all year, and I really like what they do together. Number 2, that's where I got my boy Eli. With Victor Cruz.
Wow, I'm very interested to see who you got at 1. Oh, probably what I named at 10. Never mind. Eli and Cruz at number 2, huh?
Eli and Cruz at 2. They hit big plays. I didn't want to put Knicks there because it seems like at the end of games or when the Giants need a big play, Victor Cruz has been the guy the last 2 years that has stepped up and made the big play when they needed it the most. He's hit on some big yardage, stuff. He scored a lot of touchdowns. One of Eli's favorite targets, if not his favorite target, Victor Cruz, Eli, number 2.
At number 2 is where I put Matty Ice and Roddy White. I got them that high because they've been doing it together before Julio Jones got there, before Tony G got there. I mean, they literally have done it since since Matt Ryan's rookie year. And the two of them combined are just freaks of nature. They remind me of Harrison and Peyton. back in the day, because it's not like Roddy White's going to blow past you down the field, but he runs such good routes that he can get behind you. He can run his route well enough. He can trick you and get behind you. Hence why you've seen Matt Ryan hit him deep a couple times. Marvin Harrison to me was the same thing. Marvin Harrison never had a blazing speed. He never was a Mike Wallace type of guy that just went sprinting past you down the field. Just never was. But he was such a good route runner and had such a good rapport with Peyton that they always found a way. And I feel like that's what you see with Roddy White and Matt Ryan. They just always find a way, and they just know each other. And I really am a big fan of that combination.
Who do you got at 1?
I got the guys you named at number 2. From what I've watched over the past 2 years, nobody's done better than the two of them put together. If you go over stats over the last 2 seasons, between last year and what's been done this year, no wide receiver quarterback's done more.
I just feel like too much of a homer if I put him at number 1.
So then I'm glad I did it for you.
Yeah. I got to put the guys you had at number 10 and Stafford and Megatron, mainly because I don't care if Megatron hasn't put up the numbers lately. He is still the best wide receiver in the league. He could do more than anybody else at the position. He runs. He can jump out the roof. He could do anything you ask him to do on a football field. And he takes on double coverages every single play, every single week.
Yeah, he doesn't get a break.
He demands a safety over the top. He demands a corner, jam him off the line. He demands the respect a number 1 receiver should have. And yet Stafford still find ways to get him the ball. Now, last night and early parts of this year, they've struggled a little bit to do that. But I think as the year goes on, you're going to see Megatron and Stafford start putting up the numbers they normally put up. And for me, I just look at it, he's by far the best wide receiver in the league. In my mind, he's a notch above everybody else right now. Just because of his size, his speed, his presence, what he is physically capable of doing on the football field.
You know what? Like I said, a lot of this was due to the concept of what I've watched so far this year. Obviously, I did consider last year as well, but it doesn't seem, I don't know if it's Stafford, I don't know if it's the play calling, I don't know what it is, or if it's just teams finally sat there and said, I don't care if we throw 10 of our 11 guys on defense at the guy, he's not beating us. I don't know what it is. But the simple fact of the matter is I've paid attention to Calvin all year long. He's on my fantasy team. 1 touchdown came from the backup quarterback. He's only broken 100 yards twice this entire year in a game. He's not, and I get it, and I understand why. So, I do agree. 10 is probably ridiculous. 10 is probably way, way too far back in this list to have the two of them. It really is, and I understand that. But, you know what? It's personal. It's that damn simple. It's personal. I'm not winning fantasy games for a guy that I took with the 7th overall pick, so it's freaking personal.
I see that.
That's my reason. It's the only good reason I can come up with. So we're gonna say it's personal, because I know where you're coming from with that. I know you said you got a couple guys honorable mention. I just wanted to throw out. I put Big Ben, Mike Wallace, or Antonio Brown.
Yeah. See, my honorable mention. I also had Big Ben, Mike Wallace. I have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Stevie Johnson as an honorable mention. Also, like I said before, any Arizona quarterback and Larry Fitzgerald works. Also, one that you haven't mentioned yet, but I bet you would mention as an honorable mention, especially this year, since you're saying you're looking at this year. How about Ponder and Percy Harvin?
There you go.
How big have they been? I mean, Percy Harvin is considered one of the best overall, all-around players in the league right now. He lines up everywhere for those guys. Thought that was in there. And also, I just threw this in there. I mean, I had mentioned Romo and Austin, and you had mentioned Vic and Deshaun Jackson. One other combo I wanted to throw in there. Probably going to be the last year they played together, but figure I'd throw it in anyway. Newton and Steve Smith.
There you go.
Cam Newton and Steve Smith.
Especially
so those are my honorable mentions.
From last year, what you saw. I mean, he still looks Steve Smith's way more than anybody, but those are some good honorable mentions. My only other honorable mention is who you actually had at number 10, Freeman and Vincent Jackson. The only reason I didn't put them in was for the fact that it's their first year together. But you can tell that the chemistry between them is already building.
If it wasn't Freeman and Jackson select to be on San Diego,
it
would have been Rivers. It's
yeah.
pretty much whoever's throwing the ball to Vincent Jackson.
6'5", 236. He's a big guy, talented wide receiver, no question about it, like Vincent Jackson.